let's get it.
Welcome, everybody, to July's OneDrive Office Hours. I'm Rob Nunez, Product Market Manager for SharePoint and OneDrive, and we're excited to have everybody here for today's session. As you guys already probably know, this session will be recorded, so please just ensure respect and overall behavior for the actual call itself. And we want to make sure this is a fun and engaging environment for everybody as we continue through today's session. So before we get into today's session, just really quickly wanted to touch on some of the available resources we currently have. So if you attended the M365 conference, we had a ton of amazing sessions across OneDrive and SharePoint. Those sessions are now available on demand. On the screen now, you actually see some of the OneDrive sessions that we had at the conference. So the future of sharing in M365, where we announced the Hero Link, an incredible announcement that we were able to really showcase at the event itself. And it is now on demand for you to be able to view, along with a ton of other sessions at the M365 conference playlist, which you could find the AKA link on the bottom. And we'll also drop it in the chat so you guys could easily access them after the call is finished as well. Today, we have a special topic. So what's new with Windows File Explorer with Nikita Tiwari. So thank you for joining us. She'll be walking us through some of the latest and greatest for File Explorer for you guys today. Of course, we have Stephen Rice, who's also going to be going through the updates on the OneDrive roadmap. And our favorite part of every OneDrive office hours is the open Q&A at the end of the session, where we get to have an open discussion with you all in the chat or on the call itself. So with that being said, I'll pass it over to Stephen and we'll get kicked off.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. As you said, super excited to have you all here today. So let's start by taking a quick look at the OneDrive roadmap. Lots of stuff on here. Once again, going off the slide because we've got so many awesome features coming your way. I've got two highlighted that I want to call out for all of you this month. First up, the Sync Health Reports export functionality is officially available worldwide, so you can check that out. Get all of your favorite Sync Health data into the format and kind of product of your choosing, export it out, use it, crunch it, do all those great data crunching things. The other feature that we've moved out of coming in the next 6 months and now is coming in the next 3 months, so it is on its way out, is the new experiences on the OneDrive web experience around visiting shared folders from other people. So if you've ever kind of visited a shared folder and noticed that like the Chrome was a little bit weird, it was hard to navigate within that experience, we've really made that experience much cleaner. It's now integrated inside of your own OneDrive experience so you can navigate back and forth super easily. Some great quality of life improvements that we're excited are marching your way. And we'll do some more spotlighting on this, I think, as it gets a little bit closer. But really excited that you'll all be accessing this very, very soon. We're looking at about August, give or take. As always, lots of great features. Be sure to check them out. We've got roadmap IDs for a bunch of these. You can look them up if you're interested. And with my stalling done, I'm going to turn it over to Nikita to walk through all the amazing ways we're improving File Explorer and the ways OneDrive are integrated there. It's a great topic. Looking forward to it.
Thanks, folks. And hi, everyone. It's awesome to be here. I'm a product manager in the Windows File Experiences team, and our team works on all core file surfaces that you can think of when you think of Windows. So File Explorer, Desktop, the Open and Save dialogues, etc. So super excited to be here. I'm going to be talking about some of the work we've been doing to better integrate OneDrive and SharePoint and M365 content right here in your Windows workflows to help you and your organizations be more effective and productive. So we'll start by taking a quick look at how File Explorer experience has evolved in Windows 11. We'll take a look at how we're innovating to deliver M365 value for your daily habits. And we'll also look at some of the exciting AI features we're starting to light up natively in File Explorer. And the session, my talk track today, is designed as somewhat of a 101 style overview. We got signal that some of these details per feature would be super helpful. So the goal here really is for you to walk away with a refreshed understanding of what each of these features in File Explorer is intending to do for you today so you can make the most out of it for your needs. All right, with that, let's dive in. So here's a quick view at the deep set of investments we've been making in File Explorer on Windows 11. So we really started off before 23H2, starting with building a rejuvenated, modernized File Explorer. So some of the features you might recognize from that time is the modernized command bar, introduced a modernized context menu, Home became a more cloud connected, we had improved cloud search, the sync and storage status flyout in the OneDrive locations, and tabs in File Explorer. And we'll touch on some of these features as we go in detail today as well. With 23H2, we dived into building more cloud confidence for users as they access their files in File Explorer. So introduced recommended, modernized address bar, graph connected activity across the home page and also in details pane. And then really coming together on how we make Windows and M365 better together. So introduced shared content, some of the newer file types that you might use, Loop, Power BI, right here from the homepage in File Explorer, people experience, improved and smart search, AI actions, and a lot more. So let's dive into some of these specific features today. So as we look at this section, something I would like to preface with is throughout our journey, we have been grounded in understanding users' habits, and we've heard clear signal that users face two primary challenges day to day when it comes to files. One is they have challenges with finding the right file. Just the vast volume of files that users need to interact with day to day, especially in an enterprise setting, is challenging. And second is getting access to all of their content. Sorry, I'm just looking at chat, and some folks are not seeing the presentation slides. Can others see it? Okay.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. Thank you. So really looking at those two challenges, and I'll walk through how we've worked through improving these experiences in File Explorer. All right, let's start with File Explorer Home. So Home is really the front door to all your content. Of course, the stuff that you have on your PC, but also the stuff you're accessing on the cloud. And the fundamental goal of the homepage is to help you get started quickly. We don't want you to have to dive into folders or deep list of files. Home can help you get jump-started quickly. Another core goal of the Home has been to start giving you a more coherent experience across Windows and M365. And I'll dive into each of the features on the homepage in a little bit of depth today, just to share what type of content each section is trying to get to you. So let's start up with the recommended section right here at the top. It's this beautiful carousel view, which I lovingly like to call file cards in the section. You can scroll through it, and it basically animates like a carousel. A key piece of user feedback that we were trying to address through recommended is users had an expectation for File Explorer to be a little bit smarter and help users find their files directly without them having to search for it. And recommendations was really our first stop on that journey. So it's powered by Microsoft Graph. It's contextual. It shows you files that are highly relevant to you based on your activity, but also activity that's occurring on the file from others. So let's zoom in a bit and let's take a quick closer look at each of the file cards. So the goal here, of course, we have the beautiful thumbnail preview. It's key for identifying a file as you're working through the day. We also have the file name and file location, critical for file identification. But with the recommendation files, you also see what we call a reason marker or activity that's giving you an indication of why this file is relevant to you in this moment. So some types of recommendations that you might see here is if you're collaborating on a project, someone has created a task for you, is that mentioning you? One scenario where I find this particularly helpful is files for upcoming meetings. So just to get started here and prepare for an upcoming meeting. One thing I'd like to call out for this feature is that this is available only for Entra ID users today. So you have to be signed in with your Entra ID in Windows to be able to use this functionality. Also, a quick note that this section does replace the legacy quick access section, which used to show the view, the pinned folders and the frequently used folders in the view pane of File Explorer. So that section is still available for you. It's right here on the left navigation pane. If you can see that, so you can still see all your pinned folders. Anything you pinned to quick access from File Explorer will still show up here, and any frequently used folders would also appear here. So still right here, just wanted to call that out. And this is available on all 23H2 Plus builds. Let's touch on recent and favorites files. And recent files are really one of our user favorite features. I think of this as like a digital memory that you can use. Even if you don't remember the spreadsheet that you worked last night, it will keep track of that for you. And you might also notice that there's a new view, new layout here for File Explorer with these sections. We've introduced pivot-based views to support easier browsing. So instead of these sections being stacked on top of each other and for requiring you to scroll a lot to get to the files that you're looking for, these are now in individual pivots. So, and a key change that I want to call out compared to Win 10 for recent and favorites is graph connectivity. So, of course, this section shows you all the local content and the cloud content that you've synced to OneDrive on your PC, but it also shows you files that are on SharePoint that you've accessed and files from other people's OneDrive that you've accessed. And this list is consistent across File Explorer and other M365 services that you might access, such as Office.com. So that really helps with keeping all your files that you're interacting with right here. Actually, before I move on, quick touch on favorites as well. Favorites is really also graph powered. It allows you to pin your favorite files right here for easy access in this section. I joke and say that favorites is really how we allow users to show favoritism towards their files. And while in general context that's questionable, it's super handy, super effective in File Explorer. So this is also graph connected. So let's say you've pinned a file in PowerPoint app. When you go to the homepage in PowerPoint app, you will see that file populate here as well. So you can get access to that directly here. All right, let's talk about this pivot here at the far right, which is shared content. This is a brand new feature we just recently released in File Explorer Home, so would be new for many of our Windows 11 users as well. This rolled out in April this year, and this was one of the most requested feature that we had gotten signal from our enterprise users. And for the product team, it was just really an obvious gap that we wanted to fill, that users didn't have an access to get to files that have been shared with them, but they haven't already interacted with them so that it shows on recent section. So these are all files that have been shared with you. For enterprise users, also files that they have shared with others. And these could be files that have been shared with you over Teams chat. Maybe someone emailed a link to you, or maybe even a physical attachment, or someone directly shared the file with you using the OneDrive share dialog. So those would all populate here. And it appears sorted by the date shared property. And you can see who has shared this with you. So you can easily parse the list through and find that file that you were looking for. So let's say I was in a meeting a few days ago, and I remember that a colleague of mine dropped a link to a deck in the meeting chat. I can simply go through and go to this pivot and look for that person's name, be able to parse and find that deck quickly. All right. Next is people icons and cards. So we're introducing a people experience in File Explorer. This is to help you better contextualize and really enhance your collaboration experience right here on the homepage. So it's super helpful because it gives you additional cues and context for people relevant to these files, so you can identify them and access them quickly. So in this case, you have these profile icons appearing across all sections of the homepage. Let's say Alex created a task for me in one of the recommended files. I can quickly hover over his profile picture and view the people card. And this is something that you might be familiar with Teams and Outlook. So we're powering that experience now here in File Explorer. So you can take a look at the profile details, status, organization, etc. So this is now live in Windows Insider's channels. If you aren't already, please self-host and try these features out. Quickly touching on details pane. This is the details pane on the right that was recently modernized with WinUI 3. And the goal here is to help you in this refresh look, get quicker insight into the activity and details on your file. So it shows you M365 insights about a particular file. So if you click on a file, invoke the details pane here on the right from the File Explorer command bar, it'll show you a preview, details about the file, recent activity that's been happening, like folks are interacting with the file, making edits. So you have that. You can also see recent conversations related to this. So for example, if I have this file was shared with me, Alex shared this file with me over an email, I can go to related conversations in the details pane and find that email easily so that I don't have to switch between apps. And lastly, but not the least in this section is the core M365 file types that we are now supporting in File Explorer Home. So I spoke earlier about the challenge of users being able to find all of their content in File Explorer Home. So these are all file types like Loop or Power BI dashboards that you've accessed, or forms, that this is all your content, and you now have easy access to it from File Explorer. So this also rolled out with the 24H2 April release. All right, let's dive into some of the AI goodness that we are starting to power up natively in File Explorer. I'm sure everyone has heard of Copilot, so we will touch on that a bit. So let's get started. All right, let's talk about File Explorer search. We know that employees spend a surprising amount of time, enterprise users, just trying to find the right file. And the team recognized that traditional lexical search often fails when users don't remember the exact file name or the metadata about the file. So we wanted to move beyond title matching and help users find what they mean and not just what they're typing. So with AI-powered semantic search, we're making it easier for you to finds easier and smartly. So you can just describe what you're looking for, describe the content of that file that you're thinking of, and it'll be able to give you that result. So really relatable example here is that instead of me searching Q1_24_ budget _B3 final, I can just type budget spreadsheet from the last quarter, and it can show me the relevant results. So this is available now on Copilot Plus PCs. It's a powerful search experience that will work across local and cloud files, and it's available both in File Explorer and the Windows search box. So right now it works on all local content in Copilot Plus PCs. For consumers, it also works on deep content search for cloud files, but for commercial users, we're working on supporting this functionality. So that's coming later this year. Let's take a quick look at a demo video. So I'm going to launch File Explorer and go to the search box. This beautiful search box. I love the colors there. You can search for I'm looking for this team offsite document, and I find this file here, which is called event details. So it's not really called anything related to team offsite, but there's some content related to team offsite within that document. So it was easily able to return this for me. Let's take another example. of semantic search and how powerful it can be for photos, especially for your personal content. So I go to gallery, it shows me this tooltip that explains how you could make use of this search for your photos. So you can search for like landscape or a mountain, beach, and it'll be able to search through your photos. So let's say I'm typing here Bernese Mountain. It populates all these content, dog plus mountains, but when I type Bernese Mountain dog, it filters down to just the photos of the puppy. You can look for sushi, gives you that content, and yeah, lake reflections, and gives me those pictures. One more example here. Project plan. So this is just to speak to how it could work for commercial users as well. So let's say I took a picture of this project plan at some point, and it's in my screenshots locations, and these files are what I'm syncing to my PC. You can easily use this functionality to find those files. All right, I do see a few hands up. In the interest of time, if it's okay, I'll go through my content and maybe at the end we can take questions. Okay, thank you. All right, let's talk about AI-powered actions in File Explorer. And this is really another way that we really focus on how to make Windows and M365 better together, better, more productive. So the team really questioned how can File Explorer help users more than just showing files, take meaningful action on them. So what are the meaningful set of AI actions that users can take on the file here? So we recently announced that AI actions will be available in File Explorer. These are actions like summarize and image actions like editing the background, removing the background. These will all be available for File Explorer in all devices, not just Copilot plus PCs. So by this, the goal is to help you reduce the need from jumping between apps to apps. So you can take these actions right here in File Explorer. So just better flow and saving you time from having to parse through giant documents and have these summarized and ready for you to use. So you can right-click on a file and invoke summarize. Let's take a look actually at the demo here. Yeah, so it's my content. I right-click, it's a Word document. Here's AI actions, and I say summarize with Copilot. So it opens up a window right here. It's doing the summarization for me. Perfect. So it's right here for me to use. You can copy that text if you need to export that content out. Let's take another example of image AI actions. So I'm in my gallery view. I'd like to remove the background for this particular cute picture of this kitten and dog. So I'll just quickly go back there to highlight the context menu action. Oh, sorry. Yep, this is what I wanted to show. I paused at the right time. Okay. Yeah, so you right-clicked. There's the AI actions option in the context menu, and you have this range of selection for AI image actions. A few other features that I wanted to walk through as well. So these might be features that you already are familiar with, but we consider really fundamental for productivity within File Explorer. So now that we've taken a look at M365 value and AI actions, good to dive into this as well. I mentioned this at the beginning, but Windows 11 File Explorer has tabs. So just like a browser, you can open multiple File Explorer locations in a single window. And I know we have a large fan base of this feature. This was one of the number one asks from the Windows Insiders population. So it is available for everyone with 22H2 or newer builds. But I wanted to mention this. So if there are folks here who haven't yet transitioned from Windows 10, you have something to look forward to in Windows 11. Let's also touch on some of the core OneDrive integration pieces that we have in File Explorer. So this is a OneDrive sync integration feature in File Explorer. Folks might be already familiar with this, but yeah, OneDrive folder, once you've signed in, is available for you in the left navigation pane. And it's really the root directory of all files that you've backed up to OneDrive. And if you're navigating within one of these cloud folders, you can see there's a cloud icon in the address bar that you can click on, and it invokes the OneDrive quota flyout. And this helps users view their sync status, their storage status, and they can take more action there. So you can see that right here in File Explorer, and you don't need to go to the web to get this information. Non-folder move, I'm sure folks are familiar with this as well, but worth mentioning once that this is a clear way for users to back up their desktop, documents, and pictures folder to OneDrive. And of course, for enterprise users, this happens in the background based on administrator settings. Consumers also have the ability to back up and customize their backup folder settings. So there are some, if folks want to dive into more detail on this particular functionality, there are some links that we have here on the slide. There was an office hour session specifically on KFM deployment, which folks can check out. And there's some other docs as well on how you can get to a sync ideal state. All right. And this is just to mention that as archiving is introduced in OneDrive, File Explorer will also parallelly ship support so that we can handle archiving files and these actions from within File Explorer. So in this case, the archived items stay visible in File Explorer, and if the user wants to open one of those archived files, they get a prompt to unarchive it, and it will get restored on demand. So this is coming in private preview later this fall. I think I'm going good on time, but yeah, one last slide, which is just to say that we've been actively listening to your feedback. I mentioned quite a few examples where we've taken a look at direct user signal, direct user feedback and reactions. So here's some additional features that we actually shipped based on user feedback. So once we released tabs, for example, users wanted the ability to restore their tabs after restart or logging on again. We introduced that feature. We also heard you in File Explorer performance. This is a continued work in progress. The team's continuing to chip away at it. As part of the April shared content release, we did ship some improvements for File Explorer performance. So just wanted to mention that that's very much top of mind for us, and we're continuing to work towards it, improving it. And then last but not least, address bar updates. Once we modernized the address bar, we heard feedback that users really want the drag and drop functionality to move files using the address bar, and we introduced that as well. So just to say, please keep sending your feedback, use the feedback hub or some of these other community channels that we have. We are listening, and we'll continue to respond to your feedback. That's all. Thank you, folks.
Awesome. Thank you, Nikita. Let's flip it over to Q&A, and let's start maybe for the first couple of minutes with questions specifically around the topic today, and then we'll open up for everything OneDrive related. So let's see. First up, Nikolay, looks like you've got your hand up.
Hello guys. Thanks for this. I just have a quick question on the archive file support feature that you've just announced. So is this related to the M365 archive feature in any way, or is it just something different?
Yeah, I can take this one. Yeah, it's part of M365 Archive. This is the file level archive for SharePoint document libraries that we announced. And the work that was described here is how it will show up in File Explorer specifically.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's great. So users will be able to self-service themselves for the archiving for the file level, both online. I presume it will be in OneDrive and SharePoint and here in the file explorer.
Yeah, right.
Do we have to do anything in terms of administration or configuration to enable this for the file explorer level?
No, I
Or
mean,
is it
we're
built
doing
in?
a private preview this fall, so we don't have all the details of how it'll ship GA. But right now, I'm not aware of specific configuration on the File Explorer side. But as we kind of launch the preview, we'll share detailed instructions on how to enable everything that's needed.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
All right. Next up, Rebecca.
Hi, yeah, kind of related to the previous caller, actually. I put my hand up because it went quite quickly for me, the presentation about the archiving. And we have Microsoft 365 archive enabled for OneDrive, and we believe there is a cost for hydrating anything that we need to retrieve for OneDrive. We haven't enabled it for SharePoint yet, but from what we've been reading, hydrating from SharePoint was free. So I got a little bit confused, a bit like your previous caller, with that bit of the presentation about the pricing model and about which bits are available when. Yeah, and as far as I knew, for SharePoint, site level archiving was enabled, but file level archiving wasn't coming in until next year. But I could be completely wrong on that.
Yeah, so the thing we talked about was file level archive for SharePoint document libraries, and the private preview is this fall, but you're right that GA is planned for next year. And then in terms of pricing, we could potentially, maybe Stephen, have a session on M365 archive if we haven't had one already. I think that would be a great topic to bring as one of the...
I know in my own organisation, which is a UK government organisation, there's a lot of interest because the detail on Microsoft 365 archive that's posted on Microsoft Learn is so minimal. And we see things, very limited things on the roadmap, but with no depth or detail behind it. So it's really hard to gauge what the business case that could be made for that would be. So anything that delves deeper into archive would be really, really helpful. I was going to ask, because you were talking about these features, if you could drop links into the chat for anything that we could follow up on afterwards. Thanks very much.
Yeah, that's great feedback. Thank you, Rebecca. Definitely looks like there's interest in the chat for archive. So yeah, Rob and I will look at bringing a topic in as soon as we get a chance to go deeper there. Manuel, I believe you've got your next hand.
Hello, and thank you for the presentation. I have a question about the search functionality. The AI is amazing, but also the trustability of the results is not as accurate as traditional searching. So I was wondering if, like Microsoft 365 Copilot for web, for chat, has the AI-generated content maybe incorrect warning. Will the search have the same warning for educating users on possible mistakes?
Yeah, I can take the manual. Total spot on observation. I want to point out that semantic search support for commercial is not available just yet. It is something in plan, as Nikita pointed out. We are going to go enable that later this year. That said, we are trying to get all those controls in to let the user know that the content is generated by AI, so they should provide feedback. And also, this is a stack that is brand new, and we are absolutely aware that the quality needs us to do more work. So we're righteously moving in that direction to get that feedback, allow the users to understand that there is AI input in this content. So please be wary. So all of our UX will have those controls in place to inform the user. And we expect that the quality will continue to get better over time with these results as well.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Dom, I believe you're up next.
Yeah, hi. So this is a question for both the File Explorer and OneDrive teams. Can we expect the preview to work on cloud-only files at some point in time? Because right now, the preview pane, when you open it, it'll only show content for files that are already on the device.
I can take that one. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, yes, very fair feedback. We are aware of some issues of loading for cloud-only remote files in some cases. Essentially, what's happening is, us needing to make a call to get these previews and thumbnails loaded for those remote-only files. So we're looking into that and tracking that to improve that across the board. Yeah.
I'll also add one more thing, Dom, is we do have a fix rolling out right now. It's available like within our insider audience, but it's not available, or it's not fully available to our worldwide audience.
So it's actually supposed, yeah, I got it. So it's supposed to work.
Yes, it's supposed to work for all hydrated and dehydrated files.
I see.
You should be able to open up that preview pane and see.
Got it.
All the things. So
I see. I thought that was by design.
No. We want you to be able to see the content for all of your OneDrive files. So that is coming.
Awesome.
And just keep us in tune if you don't see that within the next month or two.
Thanks.
And since we don't have any other hands, Dom, did you want to ask your question around KFM and Intune?
Sure. So this is something that's been haunting me for a couple of months now. We manage a whole bunch of tenants using Intune, and Intune has deprecated the admin template use to configure policies. Now, a lot of folks who have existing tenants probably would never notice, because existing admin template policies are in place and they'll stay that way for a while to come. But if you're deploying new tenants, there is no more way to use admin templates. You're supposed to use the settings catalog in Intune. However, when you do that, I've found that known folder redirection just doesn't work. It will not turn on, no matter what you do. And that's not a feature thing. It looks like a bug. I put the ticket number in here. We can repro this across numerous tenants, all users. This is 100% real. I don't know, is there any way to kind of get that fixed like soon? Because with KFM off, obviously a bunch of files might simply never get secured or backed up, and users would never even notice properly, because they're still storing their stuff to documents and I don't know, whatever, as they should be, but it doesn't end up on Intune. On OneDrive.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. So 2 things. One, I mentioned we're actively working with the Intune team. Actually, we're meeting with them right after this meeting, so perfect timing.
Nice.
And in terms of the support ticket, if you can just shoot me an email with the ticket, and so that way we can kind of go back and forth, because I want to get to the bottom of what's going on with that specific ticket.
Yeah. So you'll find a whole bunch of logs and all kinds of other things attached to that ticket. I'm not expecting a response from you personally, but just so you know, there's a bunch of things going on, and that's been for a couple of weeks now. We haven't really made a lot of progress yet.
Okay, got it.
Thanks, Guy. I'll send you an email.
Thanks for sharing. Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Dom, I'll ask a quick follow-up question, and that is, do you have a way, because KFM can be deployed via a simple group policy, is there a way, or do you have a way to just deploy the group policy via like another tool, or is this considered blocker on being able to continue rolling out?
It's a blocker. We do cloud only. We have no GPOs. And maybe just one additional piece of info here. We were able to determine that Intune does actually set the registry keys as they should be, except OneDrive will not activate for reasons completely unknown. It only works when we use the admin templates. So there's something else going on as well. But again, we're digressing because it might even be a Windows issue. Who knows? Just saying. But I'll shoot an email to Gaia. And yeah, Carter, no, it has to be Intune MDM based via whatever mechanisms we have there. We've tried different policy types. The only one that work is admin template based. And we're not supposed to use those anymore because Intune is globally deprecating all of them worldwide. Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Other questions, either for Nikita and the Windows folks, or we can open it up to broad OneDrive questions if folks have things they wanted to get answers to. So the question in chat from David on if there are any plans that have a way for users to gauge how many files the sync client still has capacity to sync based on the 300K limit. Guy, did you want to take that one?
Yeah, we don't have any plans to do that, but I know I've mentioned this before. We are still working on increasing that limit, and we'll have more to share hopefully soon.
Awesome. Aaron, you just pasted a question. Do you want to come off mute and ask, or I can repeat it as well if you'd prefer?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. In the presentation on File Explorer, there was the right-click and AI actions. Is that controllable, or does it just not appear if someone doesn't have Copilot license?
Robert Apuja, do you?
I can take that one. So in totality, there are AI actions that are available even beyond the M365 SKU. So there are AI actions currently enabled for image files, for example. What we are, expected to show up when a relevant action is available. The M365 actions are tied behind the SKU. So yes, the AI actions can show up even when you don't have a Copilot subscription, because you may right click on an image file and see blur background or erase background kind of actions show up. But in most cases, we're trying to limit them as much as possible to only show up when a relevant action is available for a file, for a user.
Okay, so we can't just disable the view of that menu altogether ever?
Yes. Aaron, that's a question I saw in chat too. I'm just confirming with the team on the side actively to get an affirmative answer there for you. So let me follow up in chat on that.
Okay. Yeah, because if that's like a Windows thing and not something you're involved in, that's fine.
Yeah, I am on Windows, so yes, I'll get that answer for you.
Okay, awesome. And then also I noticed the roadmap about managing files when an employee leaves still said it was rolling out in June, but I know the last time there was like no date actually, so I didn't know if there was an update on that.
Is this what we call the transfer ownership feature, I believe?
Yeah, it was a new thing.
Yeah. Let's see. Arwa, I see you've joined. Do you know what the latest is on transfer ownership?
I don't think we have a new date to share, so we'll have to follow up, and we can do that next month during the session.
Yeah, and we'll make sure we get the roadmap ID updated so it's got a more accurate date that is not in the past.
That's right. Thank you for the feedback.
Let's see. All right. Stefan had a question around possibility to add a customizable expiration date for sharing links, including hero links. So you can do expiration by policy for anonymous links today or anyone links. That feature exists in the SharePoint Admin Center. We are working on a feature for people in my organization links as well. Nothing specific to share on that just yet, just that it's actively being looked at and developed. And then we're also looking at hero links as well, but that's obviously a little bit further out depending on when that feature lands and all that kind of stuff. But we definitely know there's a need there, and it's something we're actively looking at. Let's see. I'm just scrolling through the chat. Dom had a question around colors of the cloud icons between Taskbar and File Explorer.
Oh yeah, I just answered that one in chat. But really,
this is
the blue icon is on brand for us. That is where you can see it on the screen right now. And in File Explorer, we have blue icons everywhere next to text, and so it'll say like, oh, like Carter-personal or Dom / and then your company name. In the sys tray and right there next on the taskbar, we don't have that text to differentiate between. And so instead of putting down for multiple cloud users, instead of putting down like multiple blue clouds and having confusion down there, we do just, we differentiate white and blue. White clouds are there for the consumer account and blue clouds are there for the commercial accounts. We really just done it for differentiation within the sys tray. Love feedback on if that differentiation in the sys tray is not needed and really like clean up. But within File Explorer, we see that the differentiation with text is enough to understand the difference between the two different clouds when you are a multiple OneDrive sync root user. Yes, and Tony, that's spot on. On Mac, we don't have the differentiation, and it is just a bunch of monotone colors, either white or black clouds, depending on the theme. And that right now is something on Mac that we're aware of the problem there up in the menu bar in the top right.
Thank you, Carter.
Yeah.
All right. Other questions from the group? Feel free to raise your hand and you can go first. Yeah, Thomas.
It was just, I put in the chat also if there is an MC number for the archive file support so we can read what needs to be enabled or disabled for us controlling that option for users.
Yeah, I was going to take that one. So like I mentioned earlier, we're launching the private preview in the fall. Publicly, it won't be available till next year. I believe there is a roadmap ID, which I was just searching.
Okay.
But stay tuned for more details.
Okay,
and I think we talked about doing an archive deep dive session in one of the next office hours as well.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, if you have it, just post it. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Any other questions from folks for this month? Oops. Let's see who's got the first. Thomas, I'm assuming it's a legacy hand. So Dom, back to you.
Yeah. Since we have the File Explorer team here as well, a lot of Mac folks really love that you can go through the Finder and just kind of press space, right, to open like a preview window. And I know that we have something in the Windows Power Toys box, right, the little add-on apps, which does that. Is there any like plan or, could we get that right in File Explorer? Because I think that would make a lot of, Apple convertees a lot more comfortable in and around Windows. It's very simple. Just, press space, open preview, boom, done.
Yeah, Dom, thanks for sharing the feedback. It's actively very much on our radar. These kinds of improvements, we call it the spacebar peak, that are very useful from the perspective of, from the compete perspective. And we absolutely recognize the value of a quick way to identify a file, to be able to preview a file, get insights on it without having to open the file. So without saying very much, I will acknowledge, I really appreciate you bringing up that this is something you find valuable, very much on our radar. I don't have any more details to share just yet, but acknowledge that we understand the gap there, and we'll do our best there.
Yeah, thanks for the feedback, Dom. There's a question in the chat from Martina around ways to trigger removal of old entries in the OneDrive Sync health reports. Guy, do you have any familiarity with that one by chance?
Yeah, I was actually just pinging the team because they should be cleaned up. I forget the threshold, and so I was trying to get more details. Once I do, I'll reply in chat.
Perfect.
I think it's 30 days, but yeah, we can confirm.
Awesome. Other questions from folks? Yeah, Nikolai.
Hey, quick questions. Are there any plans for the syncadmin health reports for their downloadable version to, any plans to make them more accessible? Right now, they can only be done by graph, and it requires some, additional work to actually obtain them. And in the beginning, I remember some time ago, you guys were saying you're going to make it like more user-friendly, more exportable. So any plans on this happening anytime soon?
Yeah, I can take that one. So we currently don't have plans to make it like one-click exportable. So like I'm imagining you're looking for something like a button that says like export to Excel or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have any plans for that right now. The Graph API design was to really accommodate situations where there's large amounts of data that might take some time for all of those results to be compiled. But definitely hear the feedback. We've heard it from a few folks, so we'll definitely keep that in mind as we think about the next investments in that space.
Yeah, it would be nice, if not even everything, just to select the criteria, what you want to export, maybe just things with errors and stuff like that, filter it down maybe. So that's would be a nice thing. And another thing that I keep asking, but do you guys know if there's any plans or any new information about changing the limit for moving and copying data in OneDrive? Now it's like 100 gigs, I think, per action.
Nikolai, I think we remember this question being asked last month. And we've been investigating that. I don't think we have an update to share, but we are still figuring that one out.
Okay. Oh, I didn't see you here, Arwa. Thank you. Thanks.
No, absolutely. Really appreciate it. And it continues to be something that we're not sure why that particular limit exists, because it's not quite by design. So we're like looking into it and seeing if we can do anything better there.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, it's a very old limit. Since I've been working in OneDrive, it's been there. So
yes.
All
Thanks,
right.
Nicholas.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks, Arwa. Thanks, everybody.
I think we've got time for a few more questions. Stefan just asked the question around regarding file level archiving. Is there a single folder library archiving coming as well? Guy, are you the expert for that one?
So there's already a site level archive, and we're adding file level. Ishani, I don't believe there's any plans for a folder or a library, correct?
That's right. We don't have that plan set in stone yet.
Great. All right. Last call for hands.
Yeah, just real quick for the file level. I'm sorry, guys. We were left with an impression that the archiving for file level will also have folders. Is this something that was considered at some point, and a deviation was made, or is it something that you never considered?
I'm not aware of folders being discussed, but we can take it back to the team and discuss. And it definitely sounds like we should do the archiving session because there's lots of questions on that. So yeah, we'll bring in the experts as well.
Okay, cool.
All right. Before everyone drops, make sure you sign up for next month's office hours. We'll have Lincoln Demars from our team joining to talk about document libraries, what's new and what's next. So it'll be a great look at all of the functionality available there. You can register for that now to get it on your calendar at aka.ms/OneDrive office hours. And as always, thank you all for joining us this month. It is always a pleasure to see you all. Great questions. Thank you to Nikita and Pooja from the Windows side. It was great bringing them in and talking about all the great ways we're making File Explorer better too. Oh, Dom, you got a hand in? Oh, maybe not. Never mind. That was applause now, I'm going to assume. So yeah, thank you all. The video and recording for this will be available on YouTube after the fact. You can check out Legacy Office Hours at that link as well. Yeah, thank you once again. And I hope you all enjoy the rest of your week and month.
Thank you, folks.
Thanks all.